Welcome to another episode of Planting Seeds with Soul. Raw conversations on transformation, truth, and finding light in the darkest places. You may not hear what you want, but you will definitely hear what you need. Alrighty, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Planting Seeds with Soul, and welcome Christopher Mapstone. How are you, brother?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
You're very, very welcome.
Good to be here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's really, really good to see you, man. I've been excited for this. Yeah. I really, really have. I was saying it to you before, but I have been pumped to see you. You've been a huge part of my journey. You really, really have. And I want to share. I want you to share yourself with everyone. So thanks for coming. Thanks for making the drive too, brother.
Easy. Yeah. No problem, man. Thanks. Yeah. I mean, I say easy and I say no problem, but yeah. Thanks for inviting me. It's easy to just push those things aside when we make an effort, but I'm happy to be here. So yeah,
very welcome, bro. No worries. Where do I want to start with this? Like I was saying before, man, you have honestly been a huge part of my journey, my healing or transformation, my evolution, whatever word you want to put to it. You've been amongst the community that you're involved with down in northern New South Wales. Have been a huge part in, I guess, helping me opening up the space which has allowed me to heal and help and save myself. And I wanted to have you on so you can share your within world, your experiences, and just you. Your authenticity, your uniqueness with everyone that's listening and watching. Yeah. So when do you think we would have? We were just talking about this before to try and quickly work it out, but it was during COVID, wasn't it? When we met at ceremony, just after COVID, I think.
I think it was. That whole timeline is, as you were just saying, it's a bit wishy-washy in a way, because things were opening up and closing down and opening up and I think in the Northern Rivers, in the community that we're a part of, there was maybe different viewpoints of things. So it's hard to say exactly where we were at that stage, but I would say it was probably late 21, maybe early 2022, something like that. Probably around that time, and on that you know very well. Yeah.
I do know very well. Yeah, I know very well now. Yeah. And I want to get to know definitely some more. How much can we talk about that on here? No names.
Yeah.
That's no names.
I would say, yeah. I would say, yeah. And
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
Easy. Because I haven't shared, obviously, names and all that type of thing. It's obviously one of those things that you don't want certain people to be finding out about that are in control of this wild world, They don't like people waking up to themselves, but it was in the temple. Wasn't it? How long have you actually been? But we're talking, can we say what the ceremony is about and all that type of thing as well? I'll let you actually, why don't you have a bit of a share, leave the floor to you about ceremony and all that type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I can only speak from my personal experience, the things that I've had gone through in my life, and one of the things that I've had my own incredible personal, like the language that we use around these things is always limited. It always feels like there's more to say about the experiences that I personally had with plant medicines or meditations or things like this, where the experience can be so profound and so deep and so wordless that it's hard to really enunciate or pronounce or explain the experience itself in a limited capacity of the emotional context of language or words.
No words for it.
Where there's words that the explanation of it doesn't reach the depth or the expansion that happens. And with things like plant medicines, there's there's an experience that happens, and you can only really understand it when you actually go through the experience for yourself. Oneself goes through that experience.
Directly experiencing
Direct
it
experience,
for yourself.
because otherwise it becomes something that's like it's like trying to read something in a book. It's like a literature, the explanation of things. You can understand it, you can understand it in your mind. You can think about it, and you can kind of get an image or an idea of maybe what may or may not happen. But until you go into that experience, it's just all words. Yeah,
that's right. I was actually thinking about this the other day, because I'm in construction still. I've only got 2 more weeks to go, actually.
Okay, all right.
It's like an engineer going to university and learning all their theory.
Yeah.
But never actually going out to a job site.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So they're not directly experiencing it practically.
Yeah.
They've read the theory in the books to be an engineer, but you need to actually go out on site, because what you learn in a book doesn't actually work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a very good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, you've been there, you've experienced that. And, for me, I understand there's misconceptions and misunderstandings around these things. But for me personally, I feel it's important to share freely, because it can be life-changing, really, for lack of a better word. Like, it can be entirely life-changing.
In all types of ways, sharing too.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you love to personally share?
About those experiences? Well, I would say for me, like, one of the most important things for me is why I got there, how I ended up being called to working with plant medicines. And I was probably in my mid-30s, maybe. I'd actually been kicked out of Australia the first time, being from Canada, and I didn't.
Really?
But they didn't let me back in. It's a very innocent story, but again, it was just misunderstanding. But anyways, I went back to Canada after being here for about a year, and I was with a girl and in a relationship and just living my life. I've always been someone who's been quite like a seeker, like always sort of even in the back of my mind, like feel like there's something more than what there is in just the way I've been experiencing my life, at least leading up to the point where I decided to make a change about things. And so, back in Canada, in a relationship, partying still a little bit, not as much as I had, but still drinking and having fun and taking substances every once in a while here and there. And then this partner came over and visited me from Australia. She came over for a while, and we went traveling, and we went to Mexico, and I was carrying a lot of, I guess you could say, anger and unresolved anger, which would actually come out probably a lot more than anywhere else if I was drinking. I've never been an alcoholic or someone that had an issue with alcohol, but if I was drinking and something like jealousy would come up, these things, and it would be
bringing
more,
things up to the surface.
Yeah, and to a point where it was more pronounced and probably a little bit out of control. Like I would do things like, say, if I acted in jealousy, I would be more jealous. Like that emotion would be much more accentuated and powerful, just because of the state that I was in, and then the next day it would be like, like this is, feel really shameful around certain things. And so long story short, this relationship ended, and, I was in a state where I wasn't quite sure what I was doing with my life. I'd left Australia, I was in Canada, which is great. There's good things that came out of that. But I had a real, you could say, an epiphany where I wanted to take responsibility for myself and the things that I was doing in my life, in my relationships, that were causing things to crumble, to break down, that weren't functioning in a really healthy way. And I made a really clear decision. I was like, okay, whatever I can do, I don't know what that's going to be, but please show me, please give me some guidance on what I can do to understand, like, what is my role in my life that's causing me to to live in this particular way and dysfunctional or, you know, whatever.
Did you ask that, you know, from within yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was very clear. It was like, there's a beautiful saying, I can't remember who wrote it, but before commitment is made, Providence doesn't have the opportunity to come through. When the commitment is made, everything moves with you. Providence moves with you. So it's like when the full commitment and there's no ifs, ands, or buts or ways out of it, when the commitment is made, then everything sort of moves along with you and you're lifted up or, you know, pushed forward in a really powerful way. Supported
That's so beautiful. Because I have literally just made the decision yesterday and told, you know, my supervisor, who's an unreal bloke, by the way, it's been an unreal job to work on, but my time in construction is up. So I have, and it's been a scary thing. I've been in construction for 15 years. So, and you've heard about it at ceremony. Like I want to, you know, be of service more and make a livelihood doing it that way. I'm not too sure how that's going to unfold, but I want to do that. But I've made that commitment and it's definitely done. So I'm going to be throwing myself into some unknown stream. I've been in this stream at the moment. It's been like, I guess, a bit of a cycle of the same things. And now I'm going to get out of that and into something different. Yeah. Which is scary, and I actually have no idea how it's going to unfold, but I trust. Yeah. And I've learned a lot of that trust from ceremony and from you. Yeah. From music and you and ceremony and just life itself, I guess. Yeah. So thank you very much for sharing that. That's what I needed. Yeah. Now that little phrase, that saying. Yeah. How does it go again?
It's stuck with me. Well, I don't know word for word, but until there's commitment, there's opportunity for to go off the path. But once you fully commit, then Providence moves with you. Providence meaning the force, you know,
like if I'm
divinity.
like
Moves with you and lifts you up. Yeah, basically.
That's it. Because if I stay in construction and I don't make that choice to exit, all of those present moments in construction, like the universe can't actually gift me any more opportunity. Because my moments are spent there. Yeah. So for it to gift me more opportunities, I need to make some type of change. Yeah. That's
totally true. Yeah. And you know, you could do another way of saying it is nature loves courage. You know, I think Terence McKenna said that nature loves courage. Or, you know, if there's, I mean, being in that world for you and having that as your livelihood and your backup and your foundation to step out of that with that courage, you know, it's a big move. But life is, you know, eventually we're going to all die.
Yeah.
You know,
that is guaranteed. You know, no one can escape it. Like, there's I think it might have been Pablo Picasso. He said, "Don't take life too seriously."
Yeah, no one gets it alive. That's right.
Was it Pablo Picasso?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I haven't got the greatest memory, so I'm glad that things like that stick because they're the things that have like helped me out a lot. Yeah, I go back to those types of things, you know.
Yeah, and like what I mean by exactly what you just said. It's like taking it too seriously, or you know, the fear of change. It's a big thing, you know. But you know, eventually, like. What are we hanging on to, really? And you know, it's not easy. I mean, I can say that, but it's not easy to make changes. And so, to bring that story full circle, when I made that decision, commitment to that, all of a sudden, I mean, the first thing that I did was I'd heard about yoga. This was probably 2009, and I heard that yoga is really good, and I heard that yoga is really good for breathing and like being calm and. Being a singer, like breathing is really important. So I'd heard about this. So the first thing I did was I found the nearest yoga studio and I booked myself into that. And I didn't realize at the time that there was different yoga, you know, there's Hatha and there's Bikram and there's, you know, Yin and there's all these different fractions of yoga. And so I went to the first studio and it was a Bikram studio and I just signed up for like a year.
That's the hot one, isn't it?
It's a hot one, and it's the same postures, the same routine every time. So it doesn't change and doesn't filter in a lot of the. I mean, it's a beautiful yoga, and it helped me out so much. But it's a very intense practice, so you got to kind of be committed to it and get into that. But through that, then, and again, I would say that providence, divinity, whatever word makes sense, led me down a path because of my commitment to understanding myself and my interaction with life. And I moved into a place in Commercial Drive in Vancouver, British Columbia. And I moved in with this beautiful couple, still really dear friends of mine, Ray and Josh. And I'd been there for about a month, and Ray came, was talking to me in my bedroom, and I was maybe on my computer or something. And now I understand, or she told me that she was testing me out, like kind of getting a feel for who I was. And she was just, normal conversation in passing. She's like, oh yeah, Josh and I are going to ayahuasca this weekend. And she said it in because I'd never heard the word before. I thought, my immediate thought was like, that sounds like a nice place. I wonder where that is. And I was like, where's that?
Yeah. Ayahuasca.
Yeah. I thought it was a place that they were going to, which obviously it is in some ways, but...
oh, yeah. You definitely go somewhere.
You definitely go somewhere, many places, anywhere, really.
Anywhere.
And then I asked her about it, and then she told me about it, about her experience with it. And as soon as she started talking about it and what it was like everything that I had been seeking, the commitment to the decision of wanting to know more, wanting to know about myself and about life and what else is available and what the spirit is about. It's like when she started talking about it, it's like just instantly it was like the lights went off. It's like, wow, this feels like this is what I've been asking for without knowing that this is what I was asking for. It was just like everything just kind of made sense to me. So at this point, it was really beautiful actually, because it wasn't really, it was still relatively underground, at least in the Western world, you could say. It was not really that well known yet. So it was a really beautiful process of committing to, before going in and sitting with this incredible teacher, that there was a recommended 30-day diet, which I did, I followed, and an interview before coming into the circle, and just people wanting to know where I was at, or whoever was coming into this space, why am I coming into this space, which I feel is still really, really important. I mean, it's so available these days that you can kind of sign up the day before in a lot of places and go. But I was very blessed in that way that I was offered the opportunity to come sit in. He was a Shipibo shaman who came up from, he travels all around the world actually. He actually works with the Dalai Lama.
Oh, really?
And I won't actually mention his name either, but I actually was, through this experience, eventually I had to go and meet the Dalai Lama and receive a Buddha Maitreya initiation with him. And
really?
Through working with this medicine, because, there's a lot of people that work together that, you could say the masters of spirituality in the world that are, even their modalities might be different, they're still, you could say, leading to the same place, different paths leading to the same place.
It's like that story of the blind and the elephant.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of that one before?
No.
I'll tell it real quickly.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful one. It made me have some really deep realizations in there. It made me keep an open mind. So the story goes, it's about how our own personal experience is merely just like a part of the whole truth.
Yeah.
So it's the story of the blind and the elephant. There's 5 blind men standing around this elephant.
Yeah.
I might just drop it down to 3 to chop the story down a bit.
Yeah.
One of the blind men, he's touching the elephant's ear. And from his experience, he says that it feels like, from his experience, it's like some type of fan. There's the other blind man, the second blind man, he's standing on the elephant's side, touching the wall. And from his experience, he says that it feels like some type of textured brick wall. The last blind man, the third blind man, he's at the elephant's tail. And from his experience, he says it feels like some type of paintbrush. So each blind man has a different experience of, their part of their journey.
Yeah.
But the whole truth is that it is an elephant.
Yeah.
So it's like that all paths do lead to the truth, or each part of the elephant leads to
the same wholeness, the same
source, or God, or the universe, whichever label.
Yeah.
It's just a word at the end of the day.
I mean, there's so many teachings and there's so much wisdom out there, and there's so much experience and information that's shared that, you know, I think there's definitely through like wisdom keepers and elders and generational wisdom that's been passed down from generations, that there's wisdom and understanding of this process of life and where it leads to and where it's going and what happens next. But, you know, it's all still information. You know, we don't really actually really fully understand it, and again, until we go through that process ourselves, you know, because we can be telling ourselves the same, you know. There's a teacher as well, and I can't remember her name. She's an online teacher, been around for Abraham Hicks. And they talk about, you know, like just the understanding of life, and you know, there's so much information out there, but it's like what we choose to believe. It's like a belief is something we keep telling ourselves over and over again. So if we keep telling ourselves something is real, then we're going to believe that to be real, and that's going to be our reality. So if we can witness that, and this is also part of my experience with working with plant medicines and meditation, if you can witness your patterns, then you can change those patterns. You know, and I think that's where the freedom, my understanding anyways, that's where the freedom of being a conscious being is, when you can witness things as they are, or as they are, then you have the ability or the freedom or the power to change things.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I've been building a relationship with for quite some time now is, and it would have been the first time at ceremony those many, many years ago that triggered it, is the witness, you know, the Atman, the watcher, the seer, the thing that's, you know, it's never really touched, but it's forever present, doesn't change and doesn't die. That's what I've been looking at a lot lately, and sitting down for my morning meditation in that silence, I can literally observe what my mind does, how it can get hypnotized and taken by thought, or by that belief or the idea. But I don't even know, like once you meet the witness, like everything sort of changes. You can sort of be at peace a bit more. It's a spot that you can go rest in. It's like that song, rest in great natural peace, or rest in that natural great peace. That's been played at ceremony before. That actually made me projectile vomit. It was so intense, and like it just brought so much. I had the craziest visions with it, and just that song, it was so rough. It just got to the core of me, and it shook me. There was a big vomit, that one.
I think, you know, all of these, the ideas of, well, even just, you know, like getting to that point of, like which song is it? The
it's called Rest in Natural Great Peace. I cannot remember the rest. It goes like, rest in natural great peace, this exhausted mind.
Do you feel those words, not even necessarily in the ceremony that you're talking about, but those words are reflective of the space that you're talking about, or we're talking about?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like the witness in that deep space.
And how, you know, at one point it says, I think it goes, rest in great natural peace, this exhausted mind, beaten helplessly by karma and neurotic thoughts. And when it says, you know, like it beats you and it's relentless, and the mind can do that. I realised then how much the mind can have you. And that's sort of what made me vomit, because I had been holding on to a lot of stories, I guess. And it dissolved a lot of those stories. It helped me dissolve a lot of them.
Yeah, and this is one of the incredible things of working with these teachers, these plants, that it can dissolve like the barriers, the boundaries, the storylines that we're so caught up in. And again, like you could, the words like ego, like it's kind of hard to really understand what that means, because it's very limited, I think, in its scope as well.
We're operating at a
operating
from ego
like
now, aren't we?
Yeah, like the subconscious, you could say as well. How entirely and profoundly subtle it can be. like the stories and the mind, the things that we're telling ourselves constantly, daily, throughout day, throughout every day, our patterns of the way that we think and the way that our self-talk, it's so ingrained and it can be so subtle. It's really hard to see it. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to see it. And so deep meditation, and I would say, working with a plant medicine as well is a very deep meditation. Mm-hmm. And so getting into that space where, and again, you can find that witness, and it is that, for me as well, like you're saying, that just that ever-present life force energy that's just there, and it's just always there. Always it's almost there. Like a low, like the it's like a low, but it's always there, and it's witnessing.
Yeah.
And we can get to those, if we're lucky enough to have the experience in our lifetime where we can get to that space and witness the subconscious, the patterns, then we have the responsibility to take action, from there, or just go, it's like the pill in the Matrix, right? It's like, you can just go back and take the red one or whatever it is and just go back to living within the Matrix, or you can take the blue or whatever, I can't remember the colors, or you can see the truth. And then when you see the truth, then there's a responsibility with that, as we talk about with integration, to like, okay, now I know, so what am I going to do with this? And
that's right. It's like why, you go out to do these, partake and experience these plant medicines, respectfully, obviously. But, where was I going with that one? No, I've lost my train of thought there. Sorry, brother. But
yeah.
The plant medicines are, they're wild. I don't even know really what to say. What would be, like, how would you best explain, like, what type of things actually have plant medicines done for you? Like, what have they shown you from your experience, like, about yourself?
That's a deep one. It's I would say probably, it's still happening. It's still happening, like everything that I've been gifted to see and to feel and to witness through my experiences with these medicines is just entirely unfolding. And it's, so I guess direct things, I would say. But I would say probably my first handful of ayahuasca experiences. Mm-hmm. So working with that medicine, she took me into spaces that I'd never experienced. Like, it's all already in there. Like, I would say everything that I've experienced is already within my scope of being. It's because it's everything, right? Like, it's everything is always reacting and interacting with everything else. So everything that I experienced through these medicines was always and already within me. It was just like she was helping to draw things out of me. Mm-hmm. And for me, like, my experiences with her, to begin with, a lot of it was the witness. So I was really having. So there's different levels you can have with these medicines, and when one of them is, as you would probably know as well, deals a lot with relationship. Mm-hmm. Like relationship with myself, relationship with other people, relationship with this world, with this physical world. And so again, going back to my, like, how am I interacting with the world? Like, what am I doing in my life that's causing certain things to happen? So in that intention, or in that wanting to experience that, she was unfolding things for me, like showing me interaction, showing me relationships, showing me how I was acting in my life, and causing relationships to break down, to suffer, to collapse. So really giving me the opportunity to see what I was doing in my life that was causing things to be in a particular way. And not only that, like being able to witness them, but then also giving me the insight and the opportunity to understand what I could do to now change those patterns. It wasn't just like, this is happening and this is what's going on. And, like these, it's not like she goes, oh, here's your list of things. I'm going to write it out for you and give you pointers. And like, this is what you need to do, that happens, but it's not always a direct, it's like she can show these teachings or these experiences in ways that you wouldn't even imagine that that's how you would learn something. Like it's like comes in situational experiences or visions or even just insights that just kind of drop in the moment.
Like just thought bombs.
Like just like, poof, okay, oh, whoa, really? Like I'd never seen that before. And now that I'm, as the witness looking at my life, I can see that, that I was, and these things go deep. Like I've had experiences where I've seen myself in a classroom and I didn't ever really physically had this experience where I was hiding in a corner of a classroom, sort of covering myself, not wanting people to see me in a particular way or as the hurt child. But I was carrying those things, and like if I go back to my life, like we spoke earlier about my childhood, and it was really beautiful, but there was also a lot of really painful things that happened, and these things can pile up in subtle ways that we're not really understanding that it's happening. So for me, growing up mostly without a father, I mean, my father, my parents got divorced, and I think when I was 3, I don't remember it ever happening. And I could probably count the times on my hand that I saw my father up until I was 8 years old, and I didn't see him again until I was probably 17 or something like that.
Yeah, wow.
And so I grew up with my mother, my sister, and my grandmother. Those are my role models, and so beautiful. But there's something that I know now that would happen to me as a child, because women relate to each other differently than they relate with the men. Even if you're a young child, even if you're a young boy, it's just natural that women relate differently with each other than they would and I relate differently as well. Like being a man, there's certain things that, like conversational topics or even emotional experiences, I relate differently than what women do, just because it's the natural makeup of who we are. And so growing up with 3 women, I wouldn't say this like then, but I realize now I always felt a bit on the outside, and so I carried that. So when I talk about having this vision of being a young boy in the corner of a classroom, I was like protecting myself from being fully seen in my experience of life, like not wanting people to see that I was hurting or that I was, there was pain in me, because I didn't really know how to deal with that then. I didn't really know that it needed to be dealt with. I was carrying something, but I was defending myself so I could feel safe in my life. And all of these things as a kid, they're very subtle, but they can pile up and pile up and pile up and pile up until all of a sudden our defense mechanisms are so powerful and they're so subtle that we don't even see them. And so one of the things that I've experienced directly with ayahuasca is my ability to see the layering of the stories that have turned me into or guided me or created this story of Chris to keep myself safe within this box so I don't get hurt, or I don't hurt other people.
And I love it how you said that too. Chris created that.
Yeah.
We do, don't we?
Yeah.
Even though we experience, wounds from other people that are projecting.
Yeah.
We're still accountable for that creation. I think that's been a huge part of my work and transformation, is that understanding of accountability.
Yeah.
You're not then pointing the finger at someone else and falling into that victim.
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah. Well, just even that story of my childhood, it's like, and this is exactly right, like my mother or my sister, my grandmother would have no idea that they were just acting naturally as they do. And I couldn't share. I could have, but I couldn't in my own scope of being. Couldn't say like, hey, you know what, like, I really feel like I'm on the outside of this. I feel like maybe, I would feel, some, just sharing that, this thing, I feel like I'm on the outside for whatever reason of this relationship, and I feel like I have to like distance myself or like shut down because I don't feel like I'm always included because you're acting naturally as you would as women. You know, the scope, the scope of that they wouldn't, and nor should they, because, and so those layers, those subtle layers of life, you know, we come into the world, you know, we're born into the world. Maybe we're carrying past life experiences. I do, you know, there's possibility. We probably are in some way or another, at least memories of that. But we're coming into the world, and then pretty much as soon as we come into the world of this, like just this sculpted, it's like a piece of clay that's never been touched. But as soon as we come into the world, it's like, okay, I have the beliefs of my mother, I have the beliefs of my father, I have the beliefs of the society that I'm born into, I have the beliefs of history, I have the beliefs of, like, all of these things are all of a sudden put onto us, and they influence us right off the bat. So it's like, we don't know. And for some reason in this life, it feels important to go back and unfurl those things. You know, it's like, you have to understand why that's happening, why it has happening, and I feel like there's maybe not just only on a personal level, but I feel there's a purpose. You know, there's a meaning to why we're here. I feel that personally. Like, I don't, whatever anyone else feels, they can feel that, but I feel personally there's a deep thing happening here in each one of our lives that you so beautifully put before. It's like we are influencing the collective, whatever that is, you know. And also through my experiences of life, like, I feel like I want to do my part in being able to offer something beautiful, something inspiring, something that feels like it's coming from the heart of humanity, you know. Yeah. And
you do. You do exactly that. You know, just with your presence. Like I was saying before, so blessed to have crossed paths with you, because the one thing that, you know, I had learned through ceremony and ayahuasca is, you know, there's other elements to it as well. You know, it's a co-creation at the end of the day. It's not just the plant. It's not just us. There's, you know, the music as well. Like the music, what I have found personally, and I'm sure it would be the same for everybody else, it guides the medicine through you to places. It like goes seeking for, you know, whatever you set as your intention, it goes on the hunt, and it will bring that up. Yeah. And your music has brought up a lot for me. And, you know, those insights and those thought bombs or visualizations, whatever come from that, wherever I get guided, you know, it has allowed me to, and it doesn't actually happen without the action, I guess, embodying what you learn at ceremony into this physical world. Nothing actually ever changes. Yeah. So, yeah, that's been huge for me, your music, because music is medicine. Yeah. Really, isn't it? It comes from, I guess, straight from source. I can't really think of anywhere else that it could come from. It's beautiful, man. Your music. What led you? How long have you been tied into music? Has it been since childhood as well?
Yeah, like, I mean, there was never a real big musical influence. Like, there's no story with me where, like, you know, my grandfather played 20 instruments, and, you know, there wasn't any professional musical background in my family, really. My mum sang in choirs when she was a young adult. I don't think she ever really did it as a kid. I think that's probably something she left behind that she'd done previously to having children. And as a kid, I had an uncle, you know, being at our cottage in Canada. You know, we'd sit around as kids, and he'd be like playing like old school country music, like Hank Williams and Merle Haggard and things like that. And so there was an influence of that, but I didn't really learn how to play music or get involved in music probably not until my 20s. But in saying that, like, music has always been really hugely influential on me. Like, as a teenager and also as a younger kid, but like definitely getting in my teenage years and, you know, discovering for the first plant medicine, really like that plant like had a huge impact in my life. And
in a positive way?
Both.
Both, yeah.
Yeah, both. There's a deep story to that for sure. But I would say like right off the bat, like hugely like positive influence, like opening my, like I remember experiences where I just, you know, as a kid, like we were kids, we were like 15-year-olds smoking, doing hash bombs off the hash blades off the like old electric stove. And, but then, you know, and then being really stoned and high as a young kid, and we would just laugh, like on the floor, laugh. We just look at each other and like just laugh, like stare at each other and laugh. But you know, besides that, like going out, I remember these times where I would go out and I'd be high and I'd come across a tree or something and just like seeing it in a whole new way. Like it was like, the way I would explain it now, it like brought me into the present moment of life, like pausing almost, like taking a moment to step back and really opening my eyes to things that in general in day-to-day life I just would pass by, you know, and not even think of it like it's true. But really having this moment where like, oh wow, like whoa, look at the veins in that leaf. Or like, you know, it's these experiences, you know, I could say it sounds a bit maybe stonerish, but those experiences, when I was able to really step back and witness you could say the beauty of life, like that probably hadn't really happened so much where I was really present with that, like until I had an experience with ingesting a plant. But also music, you know, like for me, listening to Led Zeppelin or The Doors, like, so music was highly influential with me for sure. Like I would just go deep into these experiences of music and the journey and the words and the poetry, and so I always felt there was a calling, something musical. Like I always wanted to do something musical, but I didn't have the tenacity to sit down and learn a guitar. But I would write lyrics. I thought I was Jim Morrison probably for a good, you know, couple of years. And,
nice.
You know, wearing the suede jacket and the long hair and cowboy boots when I was like 16 years old, and, you know, writing poetry and
nice.
But I didn't really pick up the guitar or sing until I was probably 21, I think it was, and I was traveling around Europe as a young backpacker, and I was in Italy. And I think it was outside of Florence, Italy, and it was a campground, and they had like a discotheque thing that they had there. And I've been traveling with this couple who had a guitar and another South African guy that had a guitar, and so they were singing and playing songs, and I was like really loving that. And then we were in this small discotheque, and there was maybe like 4 or 5 of us in the discotheque, you know, drinking wine in Italy as you do, and you know, feeling pretty good, and the music was cranking. They had a great sound system, but there was nobody there. It was just us. And the U2 Sunday Bloody Sunday, and I wouldn't say I'm the biggest U2 fan, but I like U2, but I'm not like a hardcore like U2 fan. But this Sunday Bloody Sunday has always been one of my favorite songs by them. And there's a pivotal moment where whatever was happening with the state that I was in, where I was, how I was feeling at the time of my life, feeling probably, you know, shaking off the shackles of my identity, because I grew up in a small town and I was identified as being, you know, Mapstone a particular way. And so when I went backpacking, it was like I quickly realized that was just a thing. Like I didn't have, if nobody knew me, then I could just recreate myself and be exactly who I was. You know, I didn't have to carry that baggage with me. So all of this leading up to this point.
Did you know had you met the witness? Had you had that realization by this point?
No. I mean, yes, but I didn't have like there's a part of me that's always, I don't know why I'm doing this, but there's a part of me that like, I've been always really aware of, and I'll finish this story first about the music, and then I'll come back to that, because it's an important one actually from my life journey. So with the song Sunday Bloody Sunday and this experience, it just hit me so impactfully. It was just like whatever energy was just like, whoa, I just felt this surge of like force come through me. And again, commitment. I made a commitment to my path as a musician that I wasn't yet, to wanting to learn to music. So in that moment, listening to that song is like, this is so powerful. When I get back to Canada, I'm going to buy a guitar. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to learn it. I'm going to figure it out and see where that goes. I also had a vision of myself, some 10 years down the road or whatever, being in a band, and which I've done a number of times and had a very big journey with that. But it was so profound. It was the commitment again, like really making a decision that, okay, when I got back to Canada, my mum and my father pitched in and bought me an acoustic guitar, and I lived in my mum's basement for like a year, worked like 3 jobs. So I could buy a van and go traveling again. But I just sat and just like, didn't go out, just figured it out slowly. I do that now, but it was like, like everybody else goes through. And through that, I've never learned really how to play anybody else's songs fully, although I started trying to figure them out. But very quickly, as soon as I could put two chords together, I was like, just sort of making my own stuff up, man. Really.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, eh?
Yeah. So from that, then music has gone in many different directions, and my impetus or my desire or my inspiration for doing music has changed over the years. And even working with medicines, you could say like I write or I create medicine music. Again, it's music that's influenced directly by my experiences with plant medicines now, I suppose. So and working in a ceremonial context, the music that's played in that context, in that space, in that container, regardless of the language of it, or regardless of the I guess the culture of it, or the regardless of who's playing it, if it's being played in those spaces, it's always going to be influenced by the medicine itself. And we speak of like not being a performance, and because once you get into that space, it's kind of like letting. It's not even like you're letting go. It's like you've let go. Like it's just like it's not even me making that decision. It's already let go, and then and people have experiences with the music, and I have as well. So profound, and it's almost as if like that song is being played for you at that particular time for you. Which isn't always the case, but it is also as well at the same time.
The first ceremony, the first time I met you, up in the little temple.
Yeah,
it's a heap of us in there.
Yeah,
Fiona. So I had all, there's one thing that I'd carried, on my journey.
Yeah.
My mum, or our family, lost my aunt.
Yeah.
I was about 5 at the time, and it had always been a thing. She was an important part of my life, and I remember. I don't carry many memories, but I remember her very clearly. Beautiful, beautiful woman. Still feel very connected to her now.
Is your aunt, you say?
My aunt, Aunt Jackie, or Fats was her nickname. I still feel very connected to her now. I talk to her quite regularly in my meditations and that. But the first ceremony, the first night I got handed and dealt a lot of, forgiveness, self-forgiveness and forgiveness of others. And I had some deep realizations about accountability, but that's what sort of gave me the kickstart into, not taking drugs anymore, and, starting to observe my neurotic thoughts and behaviors and patterns. But then the following night, the Saturday night, the last night of ceremony, I set an intention. I just said, I just want to experience my aunt again. I want to see her, or I just want her presence, sort of the intention that I said. I was very new to it. I didn't really know how to word it, but I'd found there's no really any right way to word it. You know, the universe is smart, and Mother Earth is very smart.
She knows what you're asking for.
Yeah, she knows what you're asking for.
Yeah.
So I asked to experience her in some way, shape or form, and Fiona's last song of the ceremony was Don't Worry, Be Happy, which was a very...
Oh, like Bobby McFerrin.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
And I'm pretty sure that's the one, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Be happy.
Yeah. Not one you would expect, but...
Not one you would expect at all.
Worthy of the space, for sure.
Yeah. And that was played at my aunt's funeral.
Okay, wow.
That was... And I knew from the first 2 nights of ceremony, all the music that was getting played, I'm like, this is very, very different to what has been played usually. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is her coming through song, through the medicine of music.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It made me bawl my eyes out. As soon as I heard it come on, I just went to water straight away.
Yeah.
And I've got goosebumps now.
Yeah.
Even just retelling that story and that experience that I had.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting because it's like, it's your own personal experience in that moment, as life is, but like it can feel, and it is, it's like it's been all orchestrated for you to experience what you're experiencing in that moment, you know? Even though there's other people around that are experiencing their own perfect moment in that space. It's really the intelligence behind and that exists within in plants is and again, lack of words. It's incredible. It's profound. It's like it's the information there. It's like it knows all parts of life. You know, it knows all. It's like it knows what we're all seeking for in a way. You know, even if we're not seeking it. You know. And it knows how to interact with us, and it knows what to bring up for us at a particular time. And you know, you've heard the saying many times: you don't always get what you need, you get what you want, which is
sometimes the intro to the podcast.
Oh, you know, so I said that wrong. Actually, you don't
it's actually the intro to the podcast.
Okay,
you may not get what you want, but I guarantee you'll get what you need.
That's right. Yeah, you said it right. And, you know, and that's and even again speaking these things intellectually, like if we're saying that. Someone who maybe hasn't had an experience like what we're talking about, it's different when you speak that intellectually, but when you experience that, you really understand what that means. You know, it's like, okay, I get that. But until you have that experience, it's just words. The intellectual mind is trying to figure out what that means or what this experience means by doing the best it can with the information that it already has. You know. Yeah. So my musical journey continues to unfold, and it's a really beautiful thing. And I would say that most of my music these days, it cannot be influenced by my experiences that I've had. It can't be, because that's who I am now, you know. And so everything that comes out of me is influenced by my experiences of life. And I would say that more so now. It's like my life before plant medicines or meditation or yoga, and to after. Like before that, I was writing music from the influence of all the things that I was experiencing before that, and then go to the next chapters of my life. It's now everything that I do musically and artistically is influenced by my experiences I've had since that. Yeah, I can't really go back to what it was like before. I can kind of dip my toe in there and remember what it was like, but I think even if I tried, it would be just an alien sort of way of being, because once you know, it's kind of hard to like shut that down unless you have the blue pill or the red pill again or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I think is possible, you know. I think could, you know, I don't know. I had my birthday yesterday. I'm 49 years old now, and you know, praying that with all blessings of life, and I feel that, you know, I feel whatever would come up in my life anyways, I feel I would be in some way more prepared to deal with whatever could come up in my life, also because of my experience going deep within myself and understanding the fragility or the you know, things coming and going, rising and passing, you know, that nothing everything goes away eventually.
That's it. That's literally what, everything is doing. Like consciousness, or that prakriti is literally just rising and falling. Yeah. Thoughts come and they go, just like the clouds in the sky. Actually, I really love telling people this one. I don't know if it's been said before. I just sort of had a bit of a thought bomb on a run one morning. You can look at your life, your thoughts, and just everything that unfolds. Your thoughts, your feelings, the seen and the unseen is kind of like if you picture if you went scuba diving. You're sort of in the vast ocean. That's you. You're the ocean. And then a fish swims by. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. It's actually a calm day, and it's all really good and well. That's just a thought. That fish, and that's the next fish that comes by. That's just a feeling. But we're usually attached to all that sort of things. But we are the one that's just watching it all come and go. And the weather's going to get real rough every now and then. It might last for a day. It might last for 2 weeks, a month. But it will bugger off. Eventually, it's just when you're in it. It's like, this is the end.
Well, it's interesting because I was just thinking of that, like when you're watching the fish go by, we're so engrossed in life, right? It would be like, why is that fish looking at me like that?
Has the fish got a fucking problem?
What's going on? I'm going to
follow that fish and sort this out.
So attaching to that fish, right, while everything else is, the ocean is happening. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's a good analogy.
It is. It's a good one, that one.
Yeah. So I'm going to just go back because you asked like what my original experiences, what my experience have been with plant medicine. I would say just another thing about that's been really profound for me that I hadn't really experienced to the same extent or in the same way. And again, like the word love. Love. It's a word.
Love is a word.
Love is a word, but it can be experienced in so many different ways. And it can also have an attachment to it or non-attachment to it. So my experience with grandmother ayahuasca, it's like I really understood love. Again, it's like the word kind of like makes it too small.
It does, yeah.
But
it just is.
Yeah, it just is, and it's like the feeling of like everything's okay. Everything is okay. Everything is well. Everything is, just if anything disintegrates and falls apart, it's okay.
Everything's still going to be okay.
It's okay. And really feeling that for the first time, really, like it's almost like my nervous system just went like, and I still feel that, I still feel that to this day. Life still gets busy and things happen, and like the nervous system gets hit with certain things, or the emotional state gets hit with certain things. But I still carry that resounding understanding that it's all okay. It's all okay, it's all, and again, words, like this is a theme for me right now. It's like, all okay, what does that mean? But it's the feeling that's behind that.
If you're, you have that set up within you, that it's like a weapon, a sword that you bring out when life hits you.
Yeah.
It's, if you think that if that's you program that into yourself.
Yeah, exactly,
that way.
Yeah.
That's something that you can bring out, and you actually feel like life is okay because you believe that thought. But if you, constantly follow that fish of life isn't okay, it's terrible, it's fucked, it's
hurting me
to pieces, then that's exactly how your reality is. And like you can have dominion over turning that around through, I guess, the witness. I feel like there's so many layers to the witness. It's like the witness witnesses the witness. There's like a higher. It just keeps going. Like awareness just expands, doesn't it? Like you just go higher and higher.
I think so too. I think, if you look at the intricacies and the layers and the depth of just life on Earth.
Maybe awareness, maybe I said that wrong. Does awareness expand because it doesn't change? Maybe it's, we obviously program ourselves up, and, we may never stop programming ourselves, but once we have, meet the witness or the watcher, then you can actually start removing those layers of shit that don't serve you anymore. And that sort of cleans up or wipes the window of awareness so you can actually see things clearly. And I guess drops you into a present moment.
Yeah. And I think also with that, it's like when you, like you're saying, wiping things clean, then you can interact with life in a way that's actually you're then influencing life as well. Because it's rather than it so much influencing you, and it's like you're taking you down a path that's so regimented or engrossed in your life. It's like it's the path that you can't really get away from because it's so deep and it's so direct. But when you break away from that and you again witness your interaction with life, then you can go, okay, I can see that this is happening in my life. This experience in my life is happening right now. And now I can see how I would normally react to that. But rather than go down that path, actually, I can choose differently. And I can now influence life with the choices that I'm making. So rather than react with, hatred or, whatever, like even in your own my own personal way of being, my own little intricacies of life, if I react in a particular way, there's vibrations that carry, like it's all, again, the seen and the unseen. And it's all so subtle, we don't see it happening a lot of the time. But everything that we're doing, it's creating patterns, it's creating a force. So when you have the ability to not react in the way that you've always reacted and make a different choice, you're influencing that vibratory experience of life. And you're changing the patterns, which I feel my own personal experience now is benefiting the grand expansion of consciousness, the oneness, influencing it. It's almost like, and I hate to bring this in there, well, I don't hate to bring it in, but into the conversation, but it's like what you say to AI. If someone's, and I don't use AI, I haven't gone down that path yet myself, and I don't know if I ever will. Maybe I will because it can influence life, but I haven't gone into that path. But I have friends that are choosing to directly influence it by saying things like love and peace, or like bringing, using language that that can benefit that program from being influencing that. So we're influencing life and our experience in life by the things that we choose to think and say and feel and act. So when you have the ability to witness our programs and change it, then we're influencing our lives and the life around us in a different way.
You might be able to remind me of who said this one. If you want to change this world, you must first change yourself. That's exactly what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Once you change the program there within you, then it has an immediate effect on the world outside.
I think it was Gandhi that said, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
I believe, don't quote me on that, but I feel that's the person who spoke that, be the change you want to see. It's
true.
Yeah.
So true, isn't it?
Yeah.
The world cannot change if you don't change yourself.
Yeah. And we can be so influenced by the world around us that all of a sudden we're caught up in the world around us.
That's what I try. And so I'm due for another ceremony because once I come back out here, I am deep in. I'm pretty prominent online, all for good stuff, but it does take its toll on me. And it's like, the layers add on again. Yeah. And then I sort of can get a little bit lost and confused and, go out to ceremony and even just getting away from the Gold Coast. I feel like there's so much collective energy in one area here. Like I feel energy a lot. It's sort of like what I can walk into anyone's presence and I can pretty well guarantee off of what I feel off the energy. I can suss out what kind of person they are roughly. Yeah. But that's been big for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and that's another thing too, about having those direct experiences. It's like, I don't know, it changes. It's changed me and my life entirely for the better. entirely for the better. And sometimes it's difficult because, again, once you know, and then it becomes a responsibility to, if you choose to take on the responsibility, live a life and take responsibility for my actions and what I'm doing in my life and how I am in my relationships, which is not, I wouldn't say it makes it easier necessarily, but it makes it easier in the way that I'm not so overcome by the story of Chris, or the patterns of Chris and the things, again, talked about earlier, the layers of childhood that have just been piled on and piled on and piled on to the point where I'm acting from like a robotic way of being and not even knowing why, but having the blessing, the opportunity to be the witness of that and see that pattern and that the way that I've been interacting with life, to have that opportunity, that blessing to see that. And then, then it's benefited my life because I've made healthier and better decisions for myself, which have then impacted everything in my life. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there a ceremony coming up? Hopefully soon.
Not that I know. I haven't really, because I've only been back from Canada for a couple of weeks. So, not that I know. I haven't really gone in there. I've been busy moving in.
Yeah.
Like when it's time, it'll find you.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
It does come at the right time too.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
She knows where to find me.
Yeah, for sure.
She's got my address.
Yeah. It's in here.
But it's not even just then and there. I have had so much happen. She comes to visit quite regularly, Mother A.
Yeah.
On my runs and in my meditations.
Yeah.
Just any time through the day, she can come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And give me exactly what I need.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was. Do you reckon you would mind sharing like some song?
Yeah.
At the end of the.
Yeah, for sure. He'll share a song. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Because that'd be awesome. I'd love if you can give the flute a run and the G string.
You helped. You're part of the gift, so yeah. It's. I'll give the gift back.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything else that you want to? I'm just trying to be mindful of time here.
Yeah.
But is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Well, I would say, I think my experience of life. So we've talked a little bit about it, but and I was sharing earlier this, and I came back to the music thing that we were talking about, but talking about that force of life that's always there. I have my earliest memory, I actually have a memory of like almost saying goodbye. I don't want to say parents, but like people, something, or people are maybe not in people, but I remember like almost saying goodbye to a couple of people or something before I came into this life, before I was actually born into this life. Like, I just remember it was almost, I have it in one of my songs. It was like a shimmering blue light that was around, for lack of a better explanation, people, sort of saying, they're kind of like wishing me well upon my journey. So that's like a memory before memory. It's like I have that like as a memory. And then my earliest childhood memory is, I don't know how young or old I was, but waking up, which I'd imagine would have been in my crib at that point, and opening my eyes.
You have that memory?
Yeah, and I remember looking around, like kind of like just almost like, as babies do. They're like kind of like, where am I? Like they're in between worlds still. But my memory, and this is obviously before I could actually articulate language. Like I wasn't speaking. I already know that. I think it might have been the first time I woke up in the world.
Drooling.
And I remember looking around the room and looking at the people. And I remember it being my mother, my grandmother, and there's other people in the room. But my sort of conscious awareness was thinking, I don't know who these people are. Where am I? Like, where am I? Like, who are these people? Like, but besides that, the thing why it's so profound for me is because the force that was behind that, the awareness, has never changed in my life. that part of me has always been this like underlining force or vibration or thing, the witness that's always been there behind all parts of my life, that's always remained the same. So my identity, my the thing that I can feel right now, that's, I would say, in me, that's part of me, that has never changed. I've gone through periods of my life and my body's gotten older and it's aged and things like that, but that has never differentiated or I mean, it's had experiences where it's maybe I've tapped into it in different ways, but that has always been there, and that's the thing that has always kept me sort of seeking in a way, you know.
Always observing something.
Always observing and always there. So there's like a part of me that just is so deeply familiar.
It even like observes your dreams, obviously.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely. The consciousness of dreams is the same.
For that.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
It's wild. Like what's your thoughts on like the end of our journey once the physical body's done its time here?
You know, man, I don't really think about it so much. When I think about it, I think about doing the best that I can do now in this life to prepare me for that. Or not even just prepare me for that, but like to experience this life. So when I get to the end of my physical life, that I'm prepared. Like it's like, because it's a deep portal, I think, you know.
I think so too.
I don't personally feel as if the light shut off, because I've had experiences that I've, you know, gone to different. Yeah, I just don't feel that that's
like you've left your body.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
To, I guess, observe something else, but you don't feel like you're in your body anymore. You can't feel it. You're in a completely different.
Yeah. I've gone to a really deep meditation where I've also held my breath for longer than what should probably be normal. What
would that be?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was in a real like transcendental state. I was really deep into meditation, but I just held my breath, and I don't know. It was a long time, to the point where my body was like, you know. But this is one experience. Again, I'm not saying this is the answer to what we're talking about now, but my experience of that was like almost like my body was ready to, like if I didn't actually take a breath, my body may have, like if I didn't consciously say, okay, I need to breathe if I want to keep living, you know. If I held my breath, I feel like if I kept going, I feel like my body would have collapsed. But the thing about that experience that was really profound for me was that my state of consciousness wasn't changing. The body was giving out, but I was right at that same level, just like
there was no like you need to breathe now because you're gonna die.
I mean, the body was saying that, yes.
Yeah.
But, and what I mean by that, it was like if my body was about to die in that point, it wasn't taking that part of me with it. You know, there's a part of my consciousness, or that thing that I'm talking about that's always there, that wasn't depleting or being sucked away. It was like, it was still there, and I could really feel that if and when this physical body does pass and takes its last breath, wherever that goes, I feel that the consciousness exists beyond that. You know, and so part of my journey and understanding now, like Ram Dass, he says, the real work was in the privacy of your own heart. The real work is in the privacy of your own heart. And I really feel like that. It's like tend to my own garden so I can, you know, be the best that I can be in life.
I'll just get that real quick.
Yeah. You got a phone call?
My alarm going off. Sorry about that, guys. All right, where were we?
So yeah, the ending of life I don't know until I know.
I don't like to think about it, you know, regularly either, because if you think about that, and you know, it's one of those things that, you know, frightens you, and you're constantly in fear of it. You're never truly going to be living.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that conscious, you know, our awareness moves on.
Yeah.
and experiences something else. I know when I tried to take my life after my addiction.
Yeah.
And it's very much similar to leaving your body. When you take the medicine and that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really no different to that.
I think there's my own personal understanding of things and what I've decided to believe is that the things that we cultivate now, I think there's importance to the seeds we plant now. And also I've been in my life recently, like consciously going, okay, I want to remember that. Not just now, but wherever I'm going next, I want to bring that with me. Mm-hmm. So like planting seeds for wherever the next incarnation of Chris is. There's some things I want to really bring with me, and there's some things I want to let go of. So it's like tending to the garden and pulling out the weeds and then planting new things to, because I feel there's an evolution, and I don't know, but I feel like there's a spirit or a soul evolution into each sort of life and each sort of passing.
I think so too. I think everything is always evolving, and expanding.
Yeah.
But, that's what this whole, I told you before the podcast started, my intention was to, I've got a lot of inspiration from ceremony, through sharing and through words. That's why I called, that idea came through as like a thought bomb, planting seeds, because, just having you on and you sharing your, parts of your within world that the unseen that only you have seen, other people don't see it.
Yeah.
It's all good talk. And it's all positive talk. We have to talk about the darkness to get to the light sometimes. But just through words, words they do cast spells and they do hold a lot of power. And if we can just plant some good seeds, the right seeds. And sometimes they're going to be seeds that hurt people. Like you said before, it's not always what you want to hear. It's going to be what you need to hear.
And knowing that is going to make it easier.
yeah, that's right. So, and it's just truth at the end of the day. I'm just trying to, and everyone is just trying to, seek that truth. And the truth will sting a little bit. So the seeds aren't always going to be nice ones to plant, but truth is always going to, especially if you tend to that garden and water them consistently, have them in a good environment.
So I should, because I'm hearing you, talk a bit about. And I don't know your journey fully either. We can talk. I'd love to hear more about that, because I know you've gone, and you've been a big inspiration to a lot of people. I know and understand that, particularly in the work that you've been doing in your daily life, the job that you've had, and the people that you influence in a really positive way. I understand you've been doing really good work there, and for a lot of people. And so I'll just touch, because, I can say, if people are listening to me now speak, it's like, oh, it's all love and light and, this and that. But, man, as a teenage boy, again, not having I would say probably look back at now, my mother's amazing. She saved me in a lot of ways, but I didn't have that masculine hand, so to speak, of when I was getting out of line to put me back in place. In some ways I feel really grateful for that, because I may be a very different person than I am now, and that was just my life experience. But as a teenager, I was out of control, man. I was angry. I got in a lot of fights. I hurt a lot of people.
Okay.
I was fighting a lot I would say my fighting wasn't necessarily chosen by me, because the very first fight I ever got into, I grew up in a small town, about 6,000 people, kind of like a cottage, a very touristy place, but in the winter, nobody really comes and visits there, even though it's really beautiful. So it's a hockey town. Great. It was incredible, but I got in a lot of trouble. I got, charged for assault probably twice, I think, as a young boy, as a teenage man. I got sent away to juvenile detention center.
Did you go to juvie, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
But it was different juvie. So I'll tell you a bit about that. So why I'm sharing this is because, still through all of this and being angry and being dysfunctional and being on the verge of, like, you know, probably without my mother at this stage, in some ways, making decisions for me and helping me through certain things. I don't know. Maybe I would have ended up in jail. I don't know, because I was at the point, you know, like, angry. But my first fight, to go back to that story, like, I actually literally was pulled out of a truck with my girlfriend at the time. I was 15, pulled out of a truck and then jumped by two older guys who were probably in their early 20s, and I had to defend myself. And I ended up winning this fight against these two older guys, and then from there it sort of snowballed, because all of a sudden I was this new tough kid, and then everybody in my hometown wanted to have a piece of me, and
wanted to take the title, take the belt.
Yeah, or like, you know, who's this young kid that's, like, you know, beating up these other guys that are supposed to be tough. And so it ended up being this thing where I got in a lot of fights. But then I got sent, I had a decision, and my mum actually pulled me into this thing. I was on not parole, what's it when you're juvenile?
Good behaviour bond?
Yeah, well, I had to go see somebody.
Yeah, it's kind of like parole.
It's kind of like a parole officer, but it's, I can't remember, there's another term for it, but I was going to see this person monthly or something like that. And I'd been caught with marijuana or something like that as well. And so at 15, I had an ultimatum. It was like, go down the path of potentially being brought up on more charges, or go to this juvenile thing. And it wasn't just a juvenile center, it was a 48-day wilderness camp where it's I'm in custody, but we go out and we do, like, we get sent into the wilderness basically, and all of a sudden we're in this wilderness camp, and we go and do 5-day canoe trips and like 2 days of rock climbing and camping, and then you do solo camping for like 3 days, where all of this stuff basically based in wilderness sort of therapy, you could say, which is probably more prominent these days than it was when I was 15. And that moment changed my life, because it, again, gave me the opportunity to take responsibility for myself, and brought out a part of me that I hadn't really experienced in my life yet. And it changed my life. Like, when I got back, I still got in a bit of trouble from then. You know, was going down certain paths, and then also from there I ended up getting kicked out of school. But then I was sent away to be reunited with my father for the first time when I was 17.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd gone down a pretty strong path of, like, depression as a probably 17-year-old, getting back into using substances and things like that. And so I went down and I lived in my dad's sailboat with him for 6 months in the Caribbean. And again, that took me from a certain trajectory. But I was on antidepressants at that point as well. And that stuff kind of screws with you. Like, it can kind of alleviate or help with almost like the dread that I was feeling, or the sorrow, or the disconnection I was feeling at that point. But they can also really mess with your thought patterns. And as a 17-year-old kid, I didn't really know what was going on. But so being in the States, my father had 2 handguns in his glove compartment, and they ended up being brought, because I met him in the States, they ended up being brought on board of the sailboat. So they were put away in the compartment on the sailboat. And I was still dealing with this depression, and I felt like this sort of almost doom, and just really confused. And I'm touching on this because you just touched briefly, and you didn't share the story about taking your life after your addiction. So I had this real deep moment while I was on the sailboat. My father had gone off somewhere, and in a real deep sort of state of depression and like confusion. And I remember he had these guns on his boat. And so I found them, and one was like a 6-thing revolver, you know, one of those guns. You could put a bullet into the Russian roulette stuff. And so I put a bullet in the chamber, and I did that whole thing. I spun the chamber, and it was just crying. It was just like, I don't know if I could deal with this life anymore. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. And I was like, okay, well, if I pull the trigger right now and the gun goes off, I'm going to do whatever I can do to change my life. You know, I'm going to do it. You know, so I'm going to make that decision now. If I pull the trigger, I'm going to make changes in my life. And I had this epiphany, like, if I can do that, you know, if the gun goes off, the gun goes off. But if I can decide to make that choice after I pull the trigger and it doesn't go off, I don't need to pull the trigger. Because I can make that decision right now, you know?
Yeah,
and as a 17-year-old,
that's so good.
And so I didn't have to pull the trigger. It was just like, boom, you don't have to pull the trigger, because if you feel you can do that after you pull the trigger, then you don't need to pull the trigger because you've already made the decision.
It
was profound. I didn't take any more antidepressants. I again, at that young age, decided, I went back and finished high school. I went on this different trajectory, and I decided at that moment to take responsibility for myself without even having the conscious awareness that I was really doing that. I just knew I wanted to make a change.
That is honestly, that's profound stuff.
Yeah. So I wanted to share that because there's a whole life story that's led me in certain paths to obviously coming back to plant medicine has been a very big part of my life, where it's almost like things have, like, in a lot of ways, and I'm still dealing with a lot of shit still, obviously, in life, but I'm able to deal with it in a way that is more balanced. And also, again, what you said, with that understanding, like, really that deep-seated understanding that all is well, whatever's happening, it's okay.
Yep.
We're held,
Always held.
Yeah.
Wow, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, man.
For sharing all that. I wish we had more time.
I know.
There is so much, like, life that we've lived, obviously. Many moments. It's like...
Yeah.
But there's always more moments.
Well, I wanted to share that because sharing about just you dropping that little seed of, like, saying that I don't know that story about you attempting to take your life. Yeah.
I haven't really shared at ceremony that one, only because it's not because I don't want to. It's just because I've healed from it. I do talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
But it was very much of a similar situation to you. The thoughts that were going through my head. I am just over this shit. I'm over feeling like this. I'm over being lost. I'm over not understanding anything. Like, I just don't even know what is going on. And I hated myself because I was doing things that were causing a lot of harm to myself, which rippled out to those outside of me. So I was just in this state of mind one night at mum and dad's. No one was there, and I had all of these drugs. I had the coke, I had the booze, I had the Xanax, the Valium, some painkillers. I think they were Targins, and I was just popping them. I was getting really light and really numb, and those thoughts kept going me. Just I'm fucking over it. I just want to fucking take myself out. I want the pain to go. Like, I'm just sick of this. And it just felt so heavy. So I just went, fuck it. I down the Xanax. I'd already had heaps of gear anyway and heaps of alcohol, because the way that I did it like that is because I was scared to die.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, I'd thought about hanging myself. I'd thought about, I'd tried to gas myself a couple of months earlier, which was unsuccessful. But, so this is obviously the second time. I was too scared to do other things like, cut myself and things like that, to actually take myself out. So I thought, things like, I don't want to give anyone ideas here, but this is just truly what happened. So I will share what actually happened. But, things like gassing yourself and taking Valium, like it's a fade out. It's like a fade.
It's like going to sleep sort of thing.
I can't really picture it being painful. It's still scary, but so I took the Xanax, and I can't remember how it unfolded, how my cousin got there. I don't know if I'd sent a message before. I cannot remember anything from beforehand, really. But she found me, and I was purple. She said I was purple, and I was unconscious. So she called the ambulance. The ambulance found me and took me straight away, apparently. And they said that they'd got me back to life in the back of the ambulance. I let go of all of my bowels and let go of all of that sort of stuff, because I've heard once your body lets go. It lets go of your bowels too, like you shoot yourself.
Yeah.
So I was, by the sounds of it, from their words, I was definitely gone.
Like clinically
Clinically
passed,
gone, yeah. And you know, it was like a sleep. I woke up and I had a tube shoved down my throat, which was helping me breathe. Which was never had that before. I was shitting myself. I was like, "What is going on here?" And yeah, like I don't even. You know how you remember a dream? You can you don't remember when you wake up straight away, but it comes to you. Randomly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I was, you know, still experiencing when I was out, when I was dead, supposedly
Right, when you
dead.
were waking up, you were sort of in that state still? Or?
Well, I was still experiencing, you know, some experience when I was dead, just like you would a dream, you know, and just remembering, you know, some of the things that I experienced when I was out, some of the thought bombs. It wasn't like a visually seen place. Yeah. It was more energetic. Yeah. It made me see life so differently, bro. Like, it made me realize that physical death isn't the end. You know, the death that everyone talks about, that everyone's scared about, that worries everyone, brings a lot of, you know, pain and suffering just by having the thought, isn't the end. It's, you know, it could possibly be the start of just another adventure. I'm not too sure what that adventure is. Yeah. It'd just be me repeating Chinese whispers and stories if I did say that I knew what it was. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's been a huge part in my journey too. The teaching of knowing that I actually do know fuck all about the mystery of life, why we're here, what we're on, what the purpose is, really, what the point of it is. And, you know, I'm not walking around giving false information. I'm just going to really try and be conscious about what I am repeating with information too. Yeah. But yeah, that was my experience with death, I guess, a near-death experience, which, you know, wasn't the end. I wasn't out of the woods there yet. I got back onto the meth again. Not really too sure of dates, but I went real hard on it again. And, you know, that's what led me to this point. It was neurotic thoughts that I didn't know how to deal with, and beliefs that I'd programmed myself. I used and found drugs that soothed me from those unconscious wounds and programs, but ultimately was the thing that was going to take me out physically at the end of the day, or take me out of life in some way, maybe jail, maybe dead, maybe into some mental ward. I'm not too sure, on the streets even. But yeah, not long after that, I, you know, going through the meth again, I just was like, fuck it again. But I'd made a different decision this time. This is how I sort of started escaping drugs. I just made a choice, even though I was buckled and coming down and just my head was a mess. I'm just like, I just need to get out of the Gold Coast. I need to get away from the people here, from the environment here, just everyone and everything. I need to uproot my life. If I was a tree, I was uprooting myself out of there and placing myself into another environment, hopefully a better one, but I didn't know at that time. And I drove north. I was just driving north at this point, and before I left home, I left mum and dad's. You know, they were in tears. They thought I was going to be getting back onto the pipe, just going off on a bender again, but in my head I wasn't. Before I left there, I'd found some clear tube of dad's, because I was like, I just don't know. Like, I'm just still fucked. I just want to take myself out. I want to kill myself still in pain. I took that with me and started driving north. I ended up stopping. I think I drove like all day, and I found a place. I can't remember the town, but it was on the way to Emerald. I stayed there. I connected with this guy on Instagram. He goes by the Instagram alias Ink Pray Love. His name's, I'm not too sure if I pronounce it right, but Aaron Singer, who knew from Ceremony.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And said, he gave me a program and he said, connect with this guy. I can refer you to him. He does the plant medicine, the ayahuasca, and I'd already heard about it before, and that's when it's like what you said before, that calling. Yeah. It's like meant to happen. And it wasn't for a whole year, but I was like, I'll wait. Yeah. I'll do this program that Aaron sent through, which had some breath work in it, had some other practices in it, some tools, some some actual writing down with a pen, practical exercises that get you thinking. That's great. Yeah.
A great way to step into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going to Emerald, sort of a bit of a shift in the mindset. Didn't want to take myself out anymore. And okay, I need to find a job. I need to find accommodation, some shelter. I don't really care. Some basic food, water, easy going. So I found a place in a caravan park, this little donga, little stingy, crappy looking thing. But I'm like, cool, I'm in here. This is my space. I'm by myself. I ended up finding a job, taking away my phone number that I'd always had and my social medias. And I just, I started letting things go. Started going back to that place of the pure witness, I guess. Not even close at this point, but chipping at things. I'm getting closer to home. And I found a job and I worked out there. I still had some slip-ups. I was still drinking alcohol, but things were moving forward. They weren't standing still and going backwards. Yeah. And on the weekends from work, I'd be going out into nature. So I went to Blackdown Tablelands and Carnarvon Gorge, which were beautiful. And that's when I found that nature, just being in the midst of nature, it just penetrates. I've got goosebumps. Goosebumps always come when I'm telling the deep truth.
I know.
And it just made me feel good. It was cleansing me. It was like taking away things from me, from me to them. They were just absorbing it. The trees were absorbing it. The earth was absorbing it. And just, it was getting purified through them. They were just taking it away. Like, I know what to do with this shit. This is toxic shit. Yeah. But just being in the water and breathing in the fresh air and just having your feet planted on the earth and having that sun hitting your skin. I'm like, this is what it is about. This is the real shit. No human thought. I don't think so. No human thoughts created this. This is real. This is the stuff. And things just started getting better. I ended up moving from there to cut that story down a bit. A lot sort of went down there. I joined a motorcycle club still there, but I joined it for good intentions. I actually wanted all the motorcycle clubs to join up to get rid of this government that we're under. But they're too individualised themselves. They would never do that. They still, I've found that they fall for the same trick and trap that the government put out, which is distract and divide. And it's clear that they're all divided. We all live in the same country or earth, but it's all still divided, and they're all still fighting amongst each other, which is exactly what the way that they want it set up.
Which you're trying to change, really.
Hey?
What you're trying to change, the vision is to change that.
Yeah, that's right. So that ended up not being a thing. Some things happened with one of the members there. He'd done some pretty bad things to his partner, violent things, which is not my cup of tea. Shouldn't be anyone's cup of tea. Obviously, very wounded person that bloke was, but I ended up leaving and coming back to the Gold Coast, and I met Kelsey. I met Kels, and that was the thing that I didn't know that I needed. But I did. She just was a game changer. She'd never taken drugs before. She was she is a good mum, a good person all round. She had no ties to that type of life. She was just on a different frequency, on a different energy level. So I was still dealing a little bit there. It's the first time in my life I was actually making money because I wasn't taking the drugs. But, she said one day when I was getting rid of a bit of stuff to some guys, she's like, I just can't have this shit unfold, and I've got kids. And I don't like it. It's just trash. And I said, yeah, it is. I've been looking for a reason to get rid of it. So I'd only had like a little bit left of the ounce that I'd bought, and I just got rid of that, and that was the end of it. And just meeting you guys along the way, you and the guys from Such a Mama, some people out, just everyone, just so many moments that I've lived that have just been just like a real blessing, and it's because of that. I wanted it. I asked like you asked, like I wanted change. I didn't want to feel like this anymore, and the universe was just like, all right, are your fucking eyes open yet? Here you go.
So there's a thing about there's such a powerful thing in that, like, so what you're sharing now and your part of your life story, and I can reflect, I've had similar things in my life, and the going through those things, like going through the, to the having the gun to the head, to having taking pills, or going to the point of disparity and hurt and pain in our own personal lives, to having the blessing to finding certain things, or certain things finding us, or certain people to allow us to experience the healing that has allowed us to move through that. Because there's people that don't do that. Obviously there's people that end there, and they don't get to move beyond that. So I think there's a real strength, there's a real authenticity in that when doing work that you do, or doing work that I do, because we've, again, going back to the experience side of things, we've experienced these things, and we know there's certain things that have helped us. Nature, plant medicines. So it's not that, there's also, mindfulness around the way that you approach things. It's not one thing is going to work for everybody, we know that. But knowing that there's certain things that have helped us, we can then invite people into these experiences, and if it works for them, it works for them as well.
That's beautiful.
At least there's an opportunity to, in our knowing that we've come through things and we've healed and are continuing to heal, and there's certain things that have helped us profoundly. Then if there's other people that also want to make those decisions, and this is a way that may help you,
Absolutely.
So that's a powerful thing.
Yeah. And it's like, you don't have to, like, when we're like, with the layers of things, like, we're only letting go of the ones that don't serve us. What I've found is, there's certain layers of me that I've attached onto that, might be a bit funky and weird and that, but I love it. So I'm going to hold on to that. I want to keep that weird
totally.
shit, So you like, that's the dominion that you have over it all. Like, you can literally pick and choose what you want to keep. It's like deleting files on your computer. It's like, or the apps on your phone. Like, I've installed that app to make it easy for the majority to understand. You install that app, that app's on your phone now. It's like, if that app starts causing your phone dramas and starts viruses and starting fights with the other apps, just remove it, get it out of there. Like, that's the control that you really do have, I reckon.
Once you get to a certain level, for sure, of like understanding that, because again, the ego, the subconscious can be just, if you're not aware of that app is causing the issues that are causing issues with the phone and the other apps. And if you can't quite see that, then it's just going to keep happening.
It's like that if you get a really smart app that's real evil as well, it can like manipulate.
We call it Watiko or Wendigo. It's like the shadow that's implementing and resounding in everything. And if you're not aware, even when you become aware of it, they can do something else to make you just feel like it's not
the puppets.
There. It's not. Exactly. Man, thanks for that.
No, you're very, very welcome. I feel just so, I find with the energy that I'm in, the presence of you, and it can be different. The conversations that unfold and the comfort that I feel, the way that I express myself, Like I don't let anyone hold me back, but it's just like I feel so relaxed in, you know, like in your presence, for example, like I can just, it just flows out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's beautiful. Yeah. It's really nice.
Yeah. I feel it's important in my own life. Like I've been in many situations where people have been surprised, I suppose, of how much I've shared of myself. You know, even being in high school, I remember I was in this one group, and it was like I don't remember what it was. It was like some program or something that we were in, and it was like a business development program or something. And there's this girl there, Sue, who I shared something about, you know, feeling angry or depressed or frustration or something like that in a certain period of my life, and you know, her vision of me, or her perspective of me was, he's popular in high school. He's popular. He's good looking. He's like talented. He's, you know, he doesn't have any problems. You know, and so when I was sharing these things, it took her aback, and she's like, wow, I didn't realize that, you know, my perception of you is completely different from what you're sharing now, because you have. Sure, I didn't have.
You got a bit going on.
Yeah, I didn't have any troubles. You know, I didn't experience them. So I feel it's, you know, my own personal way, and I'm not always good at this, but I feel there's a sense of leadership in being willing to share the shadow or the uncomfortable, you say maybe dysfunctional parts of ourselves. That, you know, when we're able to do that, then it's benefit to us, obviously, because we're not holding that back or keeping it in the shadow, but also other people can reflect on it and going, okay, yeah, I feel that too, and now I feel maybe I can speak that as well. So my own personal journey, I feel the more I'm able to, and I wouldn't say I share everything, you know, but I feel good about just letting that stuff out. Sometimes it feels good to like speak it, and I don't necessarily do it because I think it's going to help others. I do it because I feel it's the right thing, and then it may directly or indirectly help others in ways as well.
Yeah. It's a really good way to put that, for sure.
Yeah.
How are we going for time? An hour 40. Maybe a bit of a song.
Yeah.
Bit of a song, and I've got actually. I want to give you this while I remember, because I will forget. This is cowrie shell that I found on the beach. Something that, you know, that's something that I actually have a thing with these shells. I find them.
You found this?
Yeah, I find them in very random, like on the beach all the time. But beaches that you just those shells should not be really prominent on. You know, good for protection and all that, and creativity. But something that, you know, I've found, and, you know, I love, I admire, and I wanted to give that to you.
Thank you.
Well, it's got good energy.
Thank you. Yeah, I can feel it already. I'm just like, whew.
Yeah, and it's
So you found, where did you find it?
I found that in Palm Beach.
In Palm Beach?
Yeah.
I've never seen a shell like that around here.
Yeah, me and my mum, we have like little competitions to see who can find one first. And
then we're looking there, it's like, it's pristine. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. It almost looks like there's something written in it.
Yeah?
Almost like there's a little, like this on that little edge there. I mean, there's a pattern.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, it doesn't say anything in the English language anyways, but it looks like there's a little, like, it's a little pattern in there.
I like how these shells, like this is, like it is so shiny and polished, and the design on it, and how it's
it looks
formed.
like it's been polished. Did you polish it?
No. Right. But like how is that created?
Yeah.
Shells and stuff.
Sacred geometry.
So many mysteries.
Ancient mysteries.
Tell me.
Ancient mysteries of Palm Beach.
Just come and...
Which I'm sure there are many ancient mysteries, actually. Wow.
Yeah, so what are you thinking? What?
Well, you know, we were talking earlier, like, I can't have a really, like, projected and, like, powerful sort of voice, and I do have that, for sure. But there's also, you know, there's layers to it, you know, there's the, to the... the little subtleties to the big buff round, all those things in between. So I think that I just feeling into now, there's there's a song, I won't blast you with a big volume of my voice, but there's a song talking about healing. In Canada in 2023, I went back there for a year, and I had this like crazy, you might have been there, I had crazy teeth thing going on. I had this infection in my tooth, and
I think I do remember.
The dentist didn't want to take it out because it was very close to a nerve, like to the point where if they did extract it, they thought like for sure there's going to be nerve damage there. And this particular nerve that runs down the jawline there by the tooth is like, it's the one that allows you to speak properly. Like they were saying, if it was damaged, I could have numbness in my tongue, numbness in my face, you know. And so the thing is, like, if you're playing instruments like flute or singing, it may affect your capacity to do all of these things. So they ended up giving me antibiotics, and I took them. It was long story short, it was a long process, and I ended up taking because they didn't want to extract it because they thought this is going to cause more damage to the nerve. And they just kept giving me antibiotics and kept coming back around. And I went through this whole emotional thing with it, which is also really beautiful because, you know, in it, it's really difficult, but then you learn things from the experience. And I learned from that experience that it was really important to really just really appreciate the things that I have, that if something was to happen, that I wouldn't experience them in the same way. So like kissing my wife, you know, or like singing a song, or like all these things that I, you know, one way or another, probably a lot of my life take for granted because I'm not always like really present with it. So it started me down this path of, okay, like if this is the last time I'm going to be able to feel this kiss with my wife, and I'm going to like keep kissing her as much as I can.
It's so true, eh?
And singing, you know, and like when I sing a song, I'd really be appreciative that I can do this, you know, like. And so I went through this huge thing, and I ended up taking it out because it was actually rotting. It was black, so they ended up taking it out, and nothing happened. It was like I went to this professional, I can't remember, the specialist that was good at wisdom teeth extraction. It all worked out. But from there, I ended up getting tinnitus.
Oh, wow.
So, and I still have it. It's kind of like this thing that it comes on stronger in some ways. But when it first came on, it was like really, like, it was like, I couldn't deal with it, man. I couldn't get away from it. It was like this, like I was in a fishbowl.
Yeah, right.
You know, and it was like, I went through a real deep, like I would say, you could say depression, like anxiety from this experience that I couldn't really get away from. And I've learned to deal with it now, and it's not as intense as it was, and there's certain things that I've done that have helped minimize it. But the reason why I'm talking about it is because I was really in the depths of it. It was in springtime in Canada. I was just walking through like the Salt Dock Trail on the Georgian Bay where I'm from in Canada. Beautiful. It's a place that really brings me back to my spirit, talking about nature. All the other stuff kind of goes away. And I was walking, and I was like, I really want to find, how can I heal this? You know, I really want to heal this. Like, I know there's a way to heal this. I know it. Like, I know for sure, because everybody's saying there's not a way to heal, but I know there's a way. Maybe someone else hasn't found it yet, but I know there's a way of healing this. And as I was walking, I was just looking around, and I was kind of real present with the forest and the nature and the area, and I started to relax, and I started to like become more present. And the thing about I don't say my tinnitus because it's not mine, it doesn't belong to me, you know, but my experience with tinnitus at that time was, it was like, I was just thinking about it all the time. I couldn't get away from it. And so when I was walking in nature, I started like looking around, and then it wasn't so, I was less distracted by it. I wasn't so, distracted, but also focused on it at the same time. It was like this contradictory thing. I was distracted from everything else, but completely focused on, is the sound there? Oh, what's it like? Oh, it's there. Couldn't get away from it. So as I was having this walk and started to like be drawn into something else other than that frame of thought or that thought pattern, I was like, oh, this is healing. This is healing. Like being here on this walk, looking at this, like hearing the tuning into the other sounds, tuning into the birds, tuning into the water, like looking around, feeling the magnificence of nature, like really feeling it in me. Like I was like, this is healing. This is healing. Like I feel more healed right now because of what I'm experiencing. So this song that I'm about to play came from that experience.
Oh,
you know,
awesome.
It's called Healing. So I'll play it with me.
All right, we're just giving the guitar a little bit of a tune-up, guys, a little bit of a toilet break. But Chris is going to bless us with some beautiful music, some medicina.
Yeah. See how the song's called Healing.
Healing.
My body's aching and I don't know why. Life keeps aging, one day I will die. Yet I am full of vitality. Count my blessings, each day I'm alive. This is healing. Healing, oh, healing. This is healing. I am a creator. Count my blessings, each day I'm alive. Yet I am full of vitality. Count my blessings, each day I'm alive. This is healing. This is healing. Oh, healing. This is healing. My light I want to listen away. Nalayon Karavante La Langala wanna see I wanna Kalani see I wanna My mind is muddy, but the day is clear. Count my blessings, each day I'm alive. Yet I am full of vitality. Count my blessings, each day I'm alive. This is healing, oh, healing, oh, healing, oh, this is My body's aching and I don't know why. Life keeps aging, one day I will die. Yet I am full of vitality. Count my blessings, each day I'm alive.
Woo! Brother. Oh, far out. You don't even need the medicine, eh? the plant sometimes.
For sure.
Man. I mean, it's good, but like that's just powerful stuff, man. Thank you for sharing that with us, with not just me, with everyone, and probably the next door neighbours as well. Like,
You're welcome, everybody. It's Saturday afternoon.
It's like they're like, I don't know what's happened to me. I feel so much better.
Oh my God, honey, should we make love?
Oh, so good. That was perfect. Yeah. Oh, would you like to?
Yeah.
You gave us a little sample when you got here, but this thing is powerful. It's what what is it called? Because I know it's a flute of some
So
type.
you would call this like in the style of a Native American flute. There's lots of different variations. This one's made right here, actually, I think in Currumbin, by Spirit of Australian Flutes, I think it is. Cameron, really beautiful flute maker. And this was gifted to me for my 49th birthday, which is yesterday. And Corey was actually part of the gifting. So really wonderful thing about the community in the Northern Rivers is everybody's got so many gifts, but we all gift each other as well.
Yeah.
So my wife Iselin had organized a group gift pot, you could say, I suppose. So a bunch of people put in a little bit of money, and that little bit of money that collects in, when there's 20 or 30 people doing that, then it turns into a good chunk of money, and then that good chunk of money was used to buy this flute. And also go to studio time with my good friend Avishai Bonatan, who I'm recording 9 new songs with at the moment. So,
awesome!
And so, thank you for that. Thank you for contributing to that.
You're very welcome. I'm sorry I couldn't make it there yesterday. Had the kids, as you know, the footy presentations, but definitely next time. Have to lock that one in.
Oh, I mean,
for the big 5-0.
So this flute. So we were talking earlier, like. A guitar is kind of like, guitars are, I mean, most guitars you would pick up and they're all tuned pretty much the same, really. The 6-strings are tuned, they kind of have the same amount of frets. They kind of feel, a guitar is a guitar. In saying that, like, you tend to build a relationship with your guitar and certain ones feel better for you. But with things like flutes, like they're in different keys, the holes are in different sort of areas or different spacings. This one's got a larger space between the second and the third for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. I'll have to ask Cameron, but he would have made this so the holes are spaced to make sure that it's in tune. Yeah, so that's why, just with the shape of the wood, they're a little bit wider. So what I'm saying that is because a thing like a flute, it's like you got to take a little bit more time to build your relationship with it. They feel a little bit different. It's not just like a guitar where you pick up in lots of G shape and because they're in different keys and they're different shapes and sizes, they often feel a little bit different. So I'm saying that because I haven't quite built my relationship with this yet.
Yeah.
This is probably the third time I've played it since I was gifted to it yesterday. But the beautiful thing about it is it's a G minor in 432 hertz, which is what I tune most of my music to. And it's a drone. So what that means is this... That's always there. That's like the bass note of the G. And then the scale is... So you add the drone.
Far out. That sounds so... It sounds very like ancient Indian type.
Yeah.
Vibe. It's very... Yeah. It's very old, isn't it? It's a very old type sound.
Yeah, well, I mean, flutes, like, it's interesting, like, I'm always astounded by wood. The gift of trees, like, the guitar is wood. This is made out of wood. Idaki, didgeridoo, like, most, I mean, not all, but, like, the majority of, I would say, like, I mean, I don't know for sure, but, like, I don't know, like, all the instruments that I play are made out of wood. Or there's some sort of wood aspect to them. And I think traditionally, like even drums, like they're all made out of wood, except for like a drum you'd add a skin or something to it. So the profundity and like the depth of wisdom in trees, like let alone just, not alone just everything else it gives us, but it gives us also music. We have our voices, obviously, which you can use and make music regardless, but then an instrument, most of the time it's made out of wood. So there's an ancient voicing in there, I think.
Yeah, so they heal you while they're here.
Yeah.
Well, they're still here, obviously, but it doesn't stop when the tree's cut down or when it dies or whatever. That is
well, the interesting thing about it is all it is breath in wood. Like all I'm doing is going.
Maybe that's the instrument I should. There we go.
So my breath is creating. I mean, it's a symbiotic relationship, right? Like it doesn't do anything until my breath moves into it.
That's right.
But my breath just goes. If I don't have this.
Well, what were you doing before? Was like, were you doing that with your tongue?
It's like a bird, like.
Yeah, I love that.
There's different things you can do with flutes, like. So again, it's just breath movements and things like that within the scale, and that's where I think people get their identity or their uniqueness in how they play or how they sing. Like there's certain things that happen with the breath and the inflection of the vocal cords or within the instrument, and that's what I mean about building a relationship. Like once I really play it a lot, I'll know what it does and how like what certain sounds do, or whether like the fingering will be more comfortable, and then I can explore with it and expand with it a bit more.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. I look forward to that. That'll be next time we see each other. I reckon you know where that'll be.
Yeah, good chance.
Yeah,
good chance. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Really, really appreciate it. Music is definitely medicine. The music medicine man you are.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. I'd have one more question before we do wrap up.
Yeah.
I actually pre-wrote this one down. It's the only thing that will be obviously rehearsed or structured on this podcast. But, brother, if you could leave everyone listening with one seed today, one truth or one reminder, a bit of medicina, if you will, that the world needs most right now, what would it be? What do you think the world needs most at this present time?
I mean, I feel like I don't really know what the world needs, you know. I think for me to like
either say that or maybe even
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But go ahead, finish what you say.
What do you think is the main issue that's going on in the world? Why is there so much suffering and so much, I don't know, yuckiness going on? Everyone's got this common thing going on. Everyone's in the same boat. There is a lot of similar types of pains out there.
Yeah, my like limited understanding of it all. And again, I will only ever speak through my own experience. I don't feel like it's my place to say, and this is why I sort of hesitate on saying that, like saying what I know that the world needs, because I don't really know what the world needs. I know how I perceive it and what I think and what I feel, you know, the world could use. But I think a lot of what goes on, I mean, there's atrocities. There's incredibly, you know, as we know, like as we're shown, at least anyways, like I haven't experienced those things directly, or some of these things that we're witnessing on news channels or online that's happening around the world. Like I haven't personally been in those situations, so I can only reflect on my own personal experience from that. And so what the world needs, I mean, it's pretty obvious in some ways. You could just say it needs more love and needs more compassion, but that's also a very vague sort of statement to say. Like there's, I think what happens, and I feel as well that there's like, if I was able to, again, step away from my own personal perspective, I think there is something collective happening. There's definitely something like grander beyond what anybody else can really put words to. There's other things that are happening. You know, there's other things that we can't even understand or feel or experience. So what I feel I can do in my life, what I feel I not necessarily need, but what I feel called to do, is to do my absolute best to create things. And again, words are limited, but create things that are meaningful, create things that are beautiful, create things that are full of art, through connection, through conversation, through music. things that the human spirit can look at and experience and go like, okay, life is actually still really beautiful. Life has beautiful elements as well as all these other elements that are really hard to understand why they're happening. You know, and I don't understand, I cannot fathom what goes through someone's mindset or like experience of life that feel that they have this like desire to control or manipulate or have power to hurt other people and feel like it's like the right thing to do in life. I can understand it because I believe that humanity, everybody has every experience that could ever possibly happen in the human palette of experience of life. I feel I have every bit of it. The greed, the anger, the violence, the love. I feel it's all, that capacity is within me. I feel like it's all within me. Mm-hmm. But I've been given the opportunities or the chance or the blessings in life where I've been able to have beautiful experiences, have experiences that I can feel really held. I've also had the opposite where I have not felt that way, where I felt really alone. But I feel in my own personal experience that and you know, a lot of people will probably go, oh, that's really, you know, one-minded or self-centered. But I really fully believe that what I'm doing, what I create in my life is the very thing that I want, as we spoke earlier, the change that I want to experience is what I'm doing in my life is the thing that's going to actually affect change. If someone can see a light when all they're seeing is shadow and they look at the light, they go, oh, holy shit, like maybe I want to go over there.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to go over there. Like, screw this. Like, I'm going to go over there, you know?
I love that one too.
There's a balance. So I see things that are happening and I can feel it within me. And maybe there's a part of me at some point in my life where, you know, maybe I have to fight. I don't know. Maybe there's a part, and I feel that that's within me as well. Like, I feel there's a part of me that would be called to. I feel like there's definitely like a deep warrior energy in me that's not afraid to stand up for what is, you know, justified. But also I think I feel like there's a slippery slope on that. Because I've been I've been a very strong environmentalist in my life, and I've gone down the path of like working for different environmental organizations and like going, no, stop this, don't do. Like, I've had that energy like that, and sometimes it helps, sometimes it makes change, but I've also felt the burnout in myself, and I've also witnessed other people just drop out and with the flame just goes like just exhausted because all they're doing is fighting with the angst that like just fighting an angst with an angst. Mm-hmm.
So, and that creates more angst on them.
It creates more angst. And I know it's easy to say that, but I really feel that there's such importance in my life anyways to doing things that I want to see more engaged and more happening in life. So I feel I can't say exactly what the answer is in the grand scope of things, but I know that in my own personal life, what I feel is important, what I want to do is continue to create beautiful things and have that as the foundation that can, you know, maybe make a change or like at least keep reminding people that there's beauty in the world of chaos as well.
And you are, brother, like you, you know, what you create and have put out there and continue to put it out there, it creates change. It helps people change themselves. You've helped me change myself. Yeah. You've guided something within me multiple times, still do today, just before and now in this present moment. Yeah. Always you are creating change, so don't ever doubt yourself on that. Like, it is, you're a powerful man. And, you know, like, talk about the warrior, I believe that's in us too, but a warrior is only required to be a warrior when the warrior is required. So it's, you know, what does a warrior do in his downtime when he's not a warrior? I guess he just
plays a drum and sings songs.
Plays the drums and takes ayahuasca. Exactly. And just be a good human. That's you.
Yeah. I think I believe fully that there's, you know, and I don't feel it's a cop-out, you know, there's so much emotion with things that are happening. I understand that for sure, but I think there's got to be a balance, and there's got to be people who are also willing to look at things and go, okay, you know what, I can still really focus on creating things that people will come back to, and they will give people some solace and some sanctuary that, you know, allows the human spirit to really feel connected and safe. Yeah, and seen and heard, and know that, you know, again, all is well if you break it all down in the experience of life, whatever comes after. Like, there's something that just is holding all of it. And yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Mapstone, thank you so much for that.
Can I share a couple of things, actually, just about things I'm doing, or are we going to...
No, go for it, yeah.
Just so people listening, because there's something that we're doing, and I think you know about this, but we do an event that is really, again, everything that I've just talked about, I feel like it's a beacon. I mean, other people are doing things as well, but for myself and Mishka, we create this really beautiful experience called Kindred Spirit, which is, in a lot of ways, it's a medicine music festival and wellness event that happens, and we bring the community together to celebrate music, dance, culture, ceremony. So that's happening in Mullumbimby at the Rumble Hall on Saturday, September 27th.
That's one that I'm going to try and make. For me, I can still.
Yeah, there's still tickets available. Yeah, we're at the second ticket release now, which is still a discounted release ticket for another 5 days, I think. But yeah, it's just one of these. You know, it's kind of like bringing the medicine culture, the conscious culture, into a more available experience for people that may not experience all these things all the time, but everybody's welcome to come and be part of the music and things like that. So it's kind of bringing that culture more into the public, so to speak.
Yeah. Unreal.
Yeah.
And I've experienced that type of culture. I can definitely vouch for it. So where would people find?
You can go, so there's a ticket link, so it's try booking, but the event is called Kindred Spirit Mini Fest 2025. Facebook, it's all on there. You can go on. We have an Instagram, Kindred Spirit Fest, and the event is all online. It's on Facebook. It's on Try Booking, which is the ticket link. So you can go, if you search Kindred Spirit Mini Fest, it should pop up. Yeah.
Yep.
And there'll be ticket links there and information as well that people want to see who's playing and what it's all about. Yeah.
And if people wanted to find you, if they wanted to connect about whatever,
everything is Mapstone music, pretty much. So you've heard me say this before. Mapstone, one word. Reading a map, throwing a stone. Mapstone music.
Yeah.
If you just search that, it'll pop up on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, all the things. It'll come up. Mapstone music. Also Gmail, mapstonemusic@gmail. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you wanted to with your music, or anything that you wanted to let the audience know about, let the guys know about?
Yeah, I mean, I should. Like, I've got 2 full albums up online. I've got a single up online. I'm actually in the process right now of recording. I've done I'm doing a single, which is going to be released soon. I'm also in the process of learning mixing and like production. I've done a bunch of stuff on my own now. I'm also remixing with a friend of mine, Murray Kyle, who you would probably know as well. We're remixing an album that we did together, so that's about to come out. It was one I was never fully like, I got it, but now I feel like we've got it and it's going to come out now.
Yeah, nice.
And then another full 9-song album. I've got a band album, which is like a 5-piece sort of reggae rootsy band that's coming out. So lots of music coming out. Yeah,
I look forward to that.
Yeah,
because the mornings that I hold that space for myself to start my day. Yeah. It's the silence. I usually listen to the music on my runs. Yeah. It's a mixture. I've got albums mixed with you. Yeah. The Big D, Fiona, Shay, all that, and it's just to be present with it and just let it. Well, you don't even need to do anything. All you need to do is just sit. Yeah. Put it on. Yeah. Let go. Yeah. And just whatever needs to, wherever it wants to guide you, just let it take you there.
Like it brings you back into that center point. Yeah. And I'll just will share with that as well. Like you could say a subculture of this, people talk about popular music and things you can find on Spotify. And to me, honestly, like I listen to popular music and what's on the radio, or I guess like what's a hit these days. I think there's some things that are really good, but it's all so formulated, man. Like if I listen to a popular top 10 country song and I listen to a top 10 pop song and I listen to a top 10 sort of hip hop song, to me the formula is the same. There's like a small group of writers, then they know a formula. That's why AI can write music within 5 seconds, because it's building off of a formulated sequence that is, you know, very well known. If you listen to these things, if you can hear it, like I don't hear the difference in the style of music anymore. I hear the formula.
Yeah,
it's like the same sort of inflections in the voices. It's the same.
You're like seeing the code.
Chorus, you know. It's like the way they build the songs is like the country, you know. And so what I'm getting at is, if you look beneath the surface of that, if you go a little bit deeper, if you want to go a little bit deeper, there's still incredible music out there. There's still people that are writing unique, profound music that's not written from a formulated sequence. It's written from the heart and the soul of being a human.
Yeah.
You know, that still exists. So medicine music is part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's many artists.
You got the main, you know, you obviously got the mainstream, but there is this whole other underground
for sure
world, and there is this underground world is like, there is next level stuff there. Like there's not even any words. There is words, but they're not good enough.
Yeah, it's the experience of it, right? You experience it as well.
It's the experience. Yeah, let the word replace words with direct experience. Yeah. Awesome, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, pleasure, Corey. Thanks. Thanks.
I appreciate you very much. I'm blessed to.
Likewise, man.
Appreciate you driving your way. I know you got to drive home again.
Yeah.
But
it's all good. I enjoy driving, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, so do I.
Just like space music,
especially northern New South Wales. Got to be honest, to drive to the sunny coast, the Brizzy, the M1. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, that's not my favorite kind of driving.
No. But as soon as you cross that border,
that's true.
It's like
Yeah,
Brunswick, and I know Brunswick's getting a bit busy now, but I still love it down there.
I mean, it's all beautiful, and humans. I mean, people are drawn to certain areas because it's beautiful. But I think with that sort of stuff, because I come from a really beautiful place in Canada too. And anybody can go anywhere they want, these days. But I feel, that if people are going to a certain place for a certain reason, expand on that certain reason. Don't go to a place that you're trying to get away from and just bring everything that you're trying to get away from. That's my thing. It's like, if you're trying to get away from Sydney or Toronto or wherever, and there's certain things that you're trying to get away from, just get away from them. Like, because I think that it happens a lot where people come from the city and they just want to bring elements of what they know from the city to these places that they're connected to, and then all of a sudden it just starts to change it, and then it becomes more of like what everybody's trying to get away from.
That's right. Like, there's plenty more parts of the elephant that you can go and touch too. Like, exactly. There's a lot more to experience than just the same.
Totally. Yeah.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.
Cheers, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right. Beautiful people. I really hope you enjoyed that just as much as I did. Mapstone Music on the Spotify and Facebook. I guess you could just Google it and type it in anywhere.
Type in Mapstone Music. Even Spotify, I think you just type in Mapstone, it'll come up.
Yep. Yeah. Easy. And that's where you can find him. But until then, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. You just enjoy your present moments. Take it easy. Don't take life too seriously. Just enjoy, what you've got in front of you. Be grateful for what you have now, that you have right now, rather than thinking about, I guess, all of the things that you don't have. We're brought up in a world where they want you to want, and consume a lot of stuff, but it's in the creation and in putting good things out there, and you got everything you need to do that right now. But until we meet again, guys, love yous, and I'll leave you for now. See ya.